Hey, what's going on, everybody? So there has been yet another development in the R. Kelly case. The excitement and the drama just really never stops with the R. Kelly case. There's always something new, there's always something fresh. And recently, Greenberg, R. Kelly's lawyer, has come out and he's filed a motion to dismiss the case against R. Kelly, the RICO charges, I'm sorry, in New York against R. Kelly. And I think that this is actually a brilliant move. But before I get into that, if you haven't seen the video series I did about the Takashi 69 trial and how it will impact R. Kelly, I recommend that you go back and you check that out because you're going to get some very valuable information out of that video, and you're going to get a context as to how that trial basically fits with R. Kelly, and you're basically going to understand what RICO is because I talk about the definitions of RICO. I actually go over two different definitions of RICO, and then I go over the statute of RICO. And then I also even give some commentary in that video series. So that video series is really going to help you here in this video to understand some of the things that are at play here, right? So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. I would have included this video into that series, but I decided not to. It seemed like this video would warrant its own series. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be a series, but more than likely it's going to be a video series, right? So anyway, getting back to Greenberg, I honestly think that Greenberg is a really good lawyer. Every time I hear him talk in public, it seems like he's very intelligent. It seems like he's solid. He just seems like a good lawyer to me. I don't know. But with that said, I hear people or I see people come to my channel all the time. They just talk about Greenberg like he's a dog. They say, he's a loser. They say he hasn't really won anything in the R. Kelly defense. They just say all types of bad things about Greenberg. So I don't know if any of those things are true. I don't know that Greenberg is a good lawyer. Maybe I should go do some research about Greenberg. Maybe I will a little bit later. I mean, I don't know. But I think that this move by Greenberg is brilliant. And the reason I say that is because he's filing a motion to dismiss, right? So I've never been in federal court. And I'm definitely not a lawyer. So, I mean, if you're coming to this channel and you're listening to me thinking that I'm a lawyer, then you're pretty much a damn fool at this point, right? So you have to know that I'm not a lawyer. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But I think this move is brilliant because he's basically forcing the federal prosecutors to come out into the open and fight earlier than they're actually prepared. Now, I think one or two things can come from this. He files this motion to dismiss, and basically it's going to be like a mini trial, right? It's going to be a mini trial in the sense that he's made several claims here. He's made several claims, right? And they have to come out and defend these claims. Otherwise, their RICO statute will basically be dismissed. And if the RICO statute basically gets dismissed, I'm sorry, I'm saying RICO statute, but if the RICO charges get dismissed, then a lot of the New York charges evaporates, right? Because a lot of the New York charges are actually based on the RICO statute. Now, I have to throw another disclaimer out there. I didn't actually do an analysis on the New York litigation or the New York indictment. I didn't do that. I'm basically running away from it because that indictment is just huge. So, I mean, I guess I'll just nibble around it. But if you want to see the Illinois indictment, you can definitely find that on my page. I do several analyses on that, and I talk about how R. Kelly what moves R. Kelly can take to basically win in the Illinois case, right? But look, so I think this is brilliant because he's forcing the government, the New York feds, to fight much sooner than they're prepared to. And he's forcing them to fight in the open. And what I mean by that is that the New York feds are really hoping to get this thing into court and in front of the jury so that they can just say whatever they want to say in order to sway the jury to get that guilty verdict. And because they're bringing the RICO statute, they're really bringing with it a lot of really old stuff. They're bringing a lot of old things that are beyond the statute of limitations. So they're not really expecting, they were probably hoping that they would just be able to get this thing in court and tell the story to the jury, and then a jury would basically be able to decide, right? So they want to go straight to the jury. But basically, what Greenberg is doing, he's basically stopping them from getting to the jury. And basically, in order for them to proceed further on this RICO, they have to beat this motion. If they don't beat this motion, then basically the RICO charges get thrown out. And if the RICO charges get thrown out, a lot of a lot of other charges get thrown out, especially the charges that are beyond the statute of limitations. So the other flip side of all of this is that suppose they don't get the RICO charges thrown out. Then another thing that can happen is that he could possibly force the New York feds to reveal a portion of their strategy on how they're going to basically try to convict R. Kelly on the RICO charges, or possibly any of the other charges that are basically left, right? So I really think it's a brilliant move. Leave your questions, comments below. Let me know what you think about this motion. Do you think it's smart to force the New York feds to fight early and out in the open and sooner than they expected, to basically defend their RICO charges? Or do you think I'm really just reading too much into it and it really just doesn't make any difference at all? Me personally, I think it makes a difference because if you lose this early in the game, then it's going to set the precedence, and you're basically going to have a less of a chance to beat him when the actual trial comes. Because if the RICO charges get thrown out again, a lot of the other charges get thrown out because they're beyond the statute of limitations. And if you go back and you watch the video series I did, I think I talk about how, or I think maybe I did a video on Aaliyah, and I talk about how they're able to bring in Aaliyah bribery charges. Actually, it was the Tekashi 6ix9ine video, right? So they're able to bring in the Aaliyah bribery charges because they're trying to show a pattern of violations, right? They're trying to show that there was a pattern of R. Kelly doing this unlawful things with his enterprise, right? So, but ordinarily that would be beyond the statute of limitations because it's just really old. So, at any rate, I'm going to end this video, and I guess this will be a series. And what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll go through this actual motion here on, and we'll talk about some of the points that was made, and how Greenberg is actually going to try to get the RICO charges thrown out. And personally, I think if he gets the RICO charge thrown out, it's pretty much a win for R. Kelly. And again, the reason I say that is because there are a lot of charges in the New York indictment that are beyond the statute of limitations. So leave your questions and comments below. Let me know what you think about Greenberg. Let me know what you think about Greenberg's motion to dismiss count 1 of 9 of the superseding indictment, which is the RICO charge portion. Let me know what you think. I want to hear from you, and thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.